General Effect Media is proud to present the program.
It's the program for this week of Thanks 2025. That's right, the Thanksgiving break holiday week, however you say it. Daniel Montoya Jr. for General Effect Media, and we're back with our two co-hosts, the cohorts in crime. I was going to say, if I had a motorcycle, I'd have two sidecars. On my left, we'd have Hot Take Willie, and on my right, we'd have The Truth, Aaron Blackley. Welcome back. It's got to feel weird. There was no weekend of band, huh?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, I took the weekend off.
The only band that I saw was the University of Texas Longhorn Marching Band. As the Fighting Longhorns took on I guess they're the Fighting Razorbacks. Didn't put up much of a fight after halftime, that's for sure. Yeah. So not a whole lot of band to commit to this weekend, but we deserved a weekend off. However, there was one state that did not take a weekend off because they held multiple state championships in the great state of California. There might be more circuits. Are there more than 3 circuits over there, Aaron? What do you know?
I'm pretty sure you have a CSBC, SCS, BOA, and WBA. But there is also NCBA, which is North California Band Association, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, that all sounds about right. They held their state championships. Some of the state did not hold band 2 weekends ago because of weather. I guess that was in Southern California. Not really sure. But they held their events, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on how it all worked out. There's so much band to discuss, so we're just going to kind of just gloss over the results, I guess, of these. Some of these bands we would consider national programs that we've seen that have come outside of California to BOAs, whether it's Grand Nationals or a St. George, Utah, or an Arizona, Utah. If we briefly start with the California State Band Championships in 6A, doesn't look like they have a lot of 6A programs in there. In fact, on the recap, there's only 6 for the CSBC. Do you know why any of that, Aaron? No,
I think the way they do is just by the band size.
Oh,
and just a set number. It doesn't really move around that much.
Okay, so if we can just mention the top 6. Woodbridge won with Los Osos taking second, Mission Hills in third. San Dimas. Is San Dimas from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Anybody? Y'all the first. Okay, you're too young.
Yeah, I saw it. I just don't remember.
Okay, University High School and then Temple City High School. You had mentioned Woodbridge, right? Has Woodbridge come to some events outside of the state?
It was Mission Hills that's the name I've seen around.
Is Mission Hills in CSBC?
Yes.
Okay, so that would put them, as we try to figure out, like, where were they, what class they are. And there's so many classes to talk about here. I'm not really certain where we are at.
They're 6A.
Oh, they were?
Yes.
Mission Hills? Did I mention them? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, sorry. There's just so many bands. So many bands to mention. You can go to the CSBC website to look at all of the recaps. It seems like everyone has like 6 classes of divisions. But CSBC and what we'll talk about next real quick, SCSBOA, they each have like a different round, whereas WA combines their rounds. So it makes it a little bit easier to mention on there. Anything about CSBC? Are there, offhand, do you know any of the program names from CSBC that we might know from coming outside or leaving California on a national level somehow? You can
Mission Hills.
Mission Hills. That's the one. That's the one. Okay.
You can cut that part out.
All right. Gotcha.
Discuss that.
All right. Just, whatever. We can go to SCSBOA.
Love our acronyms down here.
6A championships. Now, I've heard of a few of these programs, whether it's band or percussion or color guard. So Arcadia takes first. Rancho Bernardo takes second. Etiwanda in third. El Dorado in California in fourth. Mira Mesa, Eleanor Roosevelt. Chino High School 77th Cavalry. Martin Luther King High School Mount Carmel Marching Band. Westview, Rancho Verde, and Del Norte High School. A few of those. Etiwanda, has their band come out, or am I just thinking about percussion and guard?
Oh yeah, they've done they did. I think they did both the California and Utah regional this year, so they're still around, and They have won regionals in the past.
Okay. I always my problem is I associate California more with like indoor percussion, indoor color guard, just because those are the ones that will make the trip, out to the Midwest typically. It's always a big deal when Ayala or Vista Marietta comes to San Antonio or Indianapolis. So if we go to 5A, West Ranch in first, Riverside Polytechnic, Santa Monica in third, Golden Valley High School, shout out to Golden Valley High School, Glen A. Wilson, Helix, Highlander, Arroyo Knights, La Mirada, Rancho Buena Vista, heard of them, Fallbrook, John W. North, and Bonita. Do you feel Bonita? I feel Bonita. Gotcha. Any of these programs come out east? I guess everything's east to them, huh? You can say no, it's okay.
Not off the top of my head. I know Arcadia used to be known for having a huge marching band and marching bassoons and oboes.
Yeah, I judged them at Fresno, maybe like years ago, and they had a huge battery. I think it dwarfed what Avon had this year, and it was really good. I'm not saying Avon was really good. I'm saying it was bigger and it was really good. Which y'all take it the wrong way. How y'all get in these comment section? Don't want to have more people from Avon reaching out to me. We moved to WBA, where they combine the 4A and 5A Grand Championships, and these are more of the bands that we are used to on a national level, both marching band as well as indoor winter color guarding percussion. As you predicted, James Logan emphatically wins first place. Chino Hills in second. Gar, I believe, G-A-H-R. I'm going to assume it's Gar. Ayala in fourth. Homestead, California in fifth. Amador Valley in sixth. Clovis East. Upland. Clovis North, 9th. Clovis in 10th. Rancho Cucamonga, 11th. Oh, they've just put everybody in there. Dublin, Clovis West, Foothill, Castro Valley, Redwood, Lemoore, Milpitas, Oak Ridge, Madeira, and Monarchy. I'm going to assume it's Monarchy. I was going to say it wouldn't be anything else. I don't know. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. But they had all 21 bands. I think it may be just kind of like...
I think that the way they do it is, it's just the top... how many bands from prelims.
Gotcha.
I forgot exactly how it works, but they do have all the classes compete together at the end.
Makes sense.
Or maybe it's just like the 4A, 5A, 6A, and then 1A, 2A, 3A.
Yes. I think that 1, 2, 3 are their own, 4, 5, and then if there is a 6A for that one. But shout out to James Logan High School. They played one of my band pieces, Light the Fuse, a number of years ago.
How did King's Academy do in 1A, 2A, 3A?
King's Academy. 1A, 2A, 3A Grand Championship. The King's Academy wins 93.9 over Granite Bay 93.175. So not a huge margin, but big enough.
The reason why I asked is...
Go on.
I am pretty sure this is the first time that a 1A band has won the 1A, 2A, 3A championships.
Oh... let us know in the comment section, all you California folk.
I remember the reason why I'm pretty sure about that is because I was talking with our friend Dre last year, and they mentioned that because King's Academy was looking like they might win. They were second, I think, last year.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, in WBA, is it by band size?
Yes.
And so they beat bands that were bigger than them, 2A and 3A. Wow. Do you know where in California the King's Academy is? I don't.
I used to, but I think it is the northern half.
Okay.
But I've seen videos of them from this year, past year. They're doing really great stuff. They definitely be a force to be reckoned with if they came to Grand Nationals.
Would they be a 1A band
Yes.
in Grand Nats? Oh. All right. Come on down, King's Academy. Let's go. Mission Viejo in fourth. I've heard of that band. That's got to be a 3A band. Is Mission Viejo a 3A? Wow. Modesto City in eighth. Just going over the schools I've heard of. El Segundo in 12th. Wow. Yeah, this one also has 20 finalists. So I guess with three different classifications. So so California Marching Band is over. Wow. Just in time for Thanksgiving, for this week of thanks. That's amazing. That's amazing. Shout out to all of the California. I would love to be more knowledgeable about stuff that goes on in California, but I can't find a lot of videos, and we want to be on the up and up, but also still finding things out. So in the future, if you'd like to let us know about your events or your shows or your contests or anything, I'll put the email address here. Let us know so that we can talk. And that goes really for any state that we don't mention. I think we are admittedly very central United States. I think we kind of do this. Probably as far east as Georgia, maybe. We'll talk a little bit about the Carolinas. We get to Arizona, and that's kind of it. So and Tarpon, it's kind of that.
Basically, if a Texas band has been there, we're probably.
That's right. So that's why we will talk about where did Cedar Ridge go? What was the regional?
That was the California regional, SoCal, in 2014.
That's why we'll talk about SoCal. I guess we need more Cal to talk about. More Cal. Is Crossmen the first group to announce their repertoire, or did Troopers beat them on the Monday afterward? They beat them on Saturday night, didn't they?
I don't think
they announced their title.
Yes.
Heart of Darkness or Into Darkness or something. That's right, because
they didn't announce their.
And I foolishly mentioned Adagio for Strings was in Apocalypse Now, and I was wrong. It was Platoon. I can't believe I did that. Sorry, Oliver. So the Crossmen announced their repertoire. Now they have an entirely new design team. Am I correct?
Yes.
A pretty significant change. I think even teaching-wise, some things have changed since last year as well. So kind of an overhaul, kind of not. I can't speak to all that, but they didn't release a title, but their graphics and their choice of font and whatnot kind of gives off an impression of more jazziness, if you will. They have a record player or a record. So I imagine this might be songs that sound a certain way. The Crossmen, even with their move to San Antonio, have maintained or tried to maintain some element of their jazzy Northeast past. And if you look at the artists that they mentioned, if you had told me these artists and said pick a drum corps, Crossmen would have been my first choice.
Oh yeah.
Lawrence the Band, we'll talk about it. New York Voices, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah.
Pat Metheny, that's the official composer of the Crossmen. Mason Williams, and Dave Brubeck. Okay, so aside from Pat Metheny and Dave Brubeck, because we have to assume, I don't want to assume they're going to play First Circle or Heat of the Day or Take 5, but it's going to be something Metheny. It's going to be, Dave Brubeck, not a problem. Mason Williams, I believe his most famous piece is Classical Gas, which they played a number of years ago. Are there any other songs that you know by Mason Williams? Do you know Classical Gas?
I'm not familiar.
It's
Maybe
fine.
I have heard.
You might have heard it.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. More than likely, your parents grew up listening to it.
Probably.
It was one of those. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy was one of those swing dance renaissance bands in the 90s, early 2000s.
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, Go Daddy-O is their big hit, I believe.
They also, I think, another one of their biggest hits was King of Swing.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Who sang Zoot Suit Riot? Zoot Suit Riot.
Shoot, that was
the Paul Setzer Orchestra, probably?
Yeah, Paul Setzer.
Okay.
I was thinking the Cherry Poppin' Daddies had.
That's enough. Thank you.
They had one of Jump Jive and Wail.
Okay, thank you. Made famous in the Gap commercial, right? Yeah, it's fine.
Something like that. This is just stuff I've played in jazz bands.
Oh, okay. The jazz. They don't call you Jazzy Blackley for nothing.
They do not call me.
New York Voices. I had to look this up. They're a jazz vocal group. On their albums on Spotify, Sing 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 is one of their hits. So I don't know that they... I don't know that they don't, but I don't know that they have original songs that would be like, oh, this is their claim to fame. Maybe they sing covers and arrangements of other jazzy type songs, but they're a jazz vocal group. And then Lawrence the Band. Let's just get the facts out of the way before we get into our opinions about Lawrence the Band. Lawrence the Band refers to themselves as a pop soul group. Formed by brother and sister, Clyde and I don't remember her name. Mary, I don't know. The majority of the Lawrence the Band are from Brown University, and they are, as you had mentioned earlier, Nepo babies. Just a fact. It's not an opinion on if Nepo babies are good or bad. Their father, Mark Lawrence, is either I think he's a director.
Yes.
Directed Music and Lyrics. One of my favorite rom-coms, by the way. Music and Lyrics. 500 Days of Summer. Another one of my favorite rom-coms. I don't know what he did on Miss Congeniality. He may be the director, he may be a producer, maybe something. But he was on that movie. And it is said, according to the story of Lawrence the Band, Clyde, the son, 5 years old, redid the theme music, the theme to Miss Congeniality, which they then recorded and used. So at 5, he was already a film scorer. He actually wrote some of the songs that Hugh Grant's character sang on Music and Lyrics. So, from my own word, I guess he's probably a musical prodigy of sorts. And both brother and sister are incredibly talented musicians. It seems he knows how to play tons of instruments, or play very, very well. They have a very good understanding of music.
Great voices.
Great voices. They look like hipsters, like they forgot that hipsterism's done, or that intentional, like, oh, I'm gonna wear, as I say, I'm gonna wear these intentionally large wire glasses with weird colors, and then I'm gonna wear a cab driver hat. And if you by now don't know who Lawrence the Band is, and you have been on social media, I won't play the song because we'll get copyright struck. But it is a very popular song on social media, but not because I think people liked it. I think because people like to clown on it, specifically like the where she belts a note and then it gets into a groove. Do you want to say what you called it, or do you want me to say it so I can? You go for it.
I mean, I've said one of the things I said was a band kid slop.
Band kid slop.
By the way, I'm a big Snarky Puppy fan.
Well, and that's what I was trying to say. I was going to say they're like, they listened to Snarky Puppy 2 rooms away, and then they wrote music that sounded like it.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy some band kid slop now and then, but like, let's be honest about like what we're listening to, you know. But Lawrence is not a band I particularly care for. Another way that I've heard them described, I've heard people call it like corporate. It's very corporate sounding. I've heard it called gentrified soul. And I cannot argue with many of these descriptors.
Somebody TikTok, people do these deep things on TikTok, and they said they sound like they came out of Berkeley, the East Coast University, where they're like, we're creating a pop factory, or this is they're making music because they know to check the boxes on the radio, and this is how but it's got a little bit of chromaticism, and it's got a little bit, so that we're that we are studied, we're learned, but it's still pop music. So the corporate pop, definitely, I totally get that. Personally, this repertoire does not excite me. Now, I have been on the record for 2 years now on General Fake Media. I don't particularly dig jazz. I don't really care for it. And therefore, when a show or a drum corps relies on jazz, it's hard for me to get excited to want to see or hear that typical show. I do prefer Blue Devils jazz, which is not jazz. Madison Scouts jazz, which is not jazz. And I say that in not as a knock. It's not real.
I mean, it's all real jazz, but like the Crossmen jazz is kind of like, it's the more smooth jazz,
Lear chandelier,
kind of like just very much focused on the classics and
right. Whereas your Scouts, your Blue Devils, Blue Coats, it's more like, it's kind of like almost big band jazz. Or jazz influence, jazz fusion, that type of stuff I can dig. This just, there's not an artist or a song on here that I'm like, I can't wait to hear that.
I'm curious if they're going to go for the obvious choices or if they're going to do some more deep cuts.
But that's the problem though, right? Like, if you're the Crossmen and you say you're going to play Pat Metheny, don't you think the Crossmen alumni and audience wants you to play First Circle?
Yeah.
Or and if you don't do it, they're like, oh, well, what was the point then?
Yeah,
right?
It's tough.
You didn't play Take 5. You didn't play. I mean, they're gonna play Rondo all.
But then at the same time, if you do play In the Heat of the Day, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, In the Heat of the Day again." We heard that.
It's almost like you need to not play anybody, not just Crossmen. You almost just have to avoid Pat Metheny.
Because you will forever be compared to people who did it first.
Correct. And you'll get compared not only to just, if you play Heat of the Day, Bluecoats winning with it, their first title, but you also compete with Crossmen shows of old that played First Circle.
Crossmen was the first band to play Heat of Day, actually. 2002.
Yes. The Signature Series, and they came out of the tunnel. It was great. I loved it. That's my favorite Crossmen show. That tells you, my favorite show of them is a 2002 Crossmen show.
My favorite is 1992.
Is that the Rush Christmas? No.
Why is the name escaping
I don't know.
me?
They didn't have names like that. They probably did.
It was like songs for the planet Earth.
You know who the arranger for that was? Do you?
No.
Michael Klush.
Oh, okay.
Michael Klush. That's right. I think he did Cadets first, won a few times with them before Jay, then went to Crossmen, and then I don't know how he got from Crossmen to Crown, but he gets there eventually, and then the rest is history. So, Don't leave me out to dry here. Willie, does this repertoire excite you to see and hear the Crossmen next summer?
It has a very low floor, but also a very high ceiling.
Ever the politician. You haven't gotten in trouble on this show, have you? Not yet. Two of us have, but I get in trouble all the time.
There was I did see a comment where a guy called me stupid for saying that Carmel 23 was the best sounding band that I've ever heard.
Oh, that's true. There was a whole thing about that. That's right. That's right. But
I guarantee you didn't see it in person.
Oh, they called y'all haters for listing a certain band not too high on your ranking. So that's as much trouble. But
I'm not a hater.
it's fine. It's fine. Aaron, are you excited? Does this excite you to see and hear them next summer?
I think it has potential.
Every show has potential.
Yes. I do think Spirit of Atlanta, they played Lawrence last year.
That's true.
And it was better than Lawrence. I actually enjoyed the Spirit of Atlanta show.
I enjoyed Rocket, right? Rocket was the name of the show. I did enjoy it. That was one of my most enjoyable, entertaining favorite shows of the summer. So yes, you're right. You know what? The low floor, high ceiling. That's a good way to put it. Lots of potential. The bar for me is, I don't know, is it lower or really high? I don't like so much jazz, so that if they just cross that, maybe the bar is low. I don't know. Maybe there's a Lawrence song out there that we don't know. I'm sure there are. And they're like, we can't do this one.
It's probably going to be the ones that we've heard, though.
It has to be. Well, we'll see. We will see. Let's take bets on what the name of the show is going to go. It won't be radio. They did that already.
Let's think out the vinyls.
I was going to say like Vinyl Dreams. I don't know why I thought that one. Whatever. What do you? I think vinyl is going to be in the title. But if it's just called Vinyl.
The Record Store.
Ooh, that's pretty good. All right, so The Record Store, I predict it's going to have vinyl in the title. There was a short-lived TV series on HBO called Vinyl, I think. Doesn't matter. Vinyl Dreams. The Vinyl Countdown. That's what it is.
The Vinyl Countdown.
The Vinyl Countdown.
Now, if they put do-do-do-do.
Okay. You want to get me on your side? You play the final countdown in your show because the show is called the Vinyl Count. If you do one of two things, you call the show the Vinyl Countdown or you play the final countdown, I will go and purchase a Crossmen Drum and Bugle Corps show shirt and wear it. Just like I did. I'm a man of my word. I did it with Genesis last year. So this week in band, there's not really band unless you count the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade taking place in the great state of New York, in Manhattan, Fifth Avenue, all of that stuff.
It could be cold.
What, do you have the weather report for New York?
No.
Sometimes it's been hot-ish. It's cold. Have either of you marched in the Macy's Parade?
No.
Okay, I have not either. It does not sound fun to me. You have a 1 a.m. rehearsal, run through, 3 a.m. I don't know. You basically have, it's a business trip is what it is, right? Which I get. And every year, I guess 2 or 3 years out, groups audition, submit a tape so that they can be selected. Or BOA does Tournament of Roses, correct?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. So you submit. It's a big deal. I would wager, and I don't know that y'all would disagree, if you told your principal, we want to go to Grand Nationals, we want to go to Dayton, they would look at you, they went like with a blank stare. But if you go, hey, we're going to march the Macy's. Yep, you can do it. Like the Tournament of Roses, the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, probably are the two biggest things a non-band person knows about band. We're going to be on TV for 40 seconds or whatever. Cool. We'll do it. Can I come with you? Like, the principal walks and all that stuff. So it's a big deal to get selected to this. I have heard rumblings that they changed producers so that the quality of the TV feed has gone down, at least last year. Because the person who was running the shots, I think, was a former band kid. Don't know if that's true or whatever. But this year, our Macy's bands consist of the Alcorn State University Sounds of Dynamite Marching Band. La Banda de Música La Primavera is going. Catawba Ridge, South Carolina. Damien High School, all boys Catholic. A little band known as LD Bell is going to. You knew this. I didn't. I was like, LD Bell's going?
Oh, man. So this
Wonder what uniforms
band.
they're going to wear. I hope they wear the blue military one. They probably don't have those. It's been 20 years. Northern Arizona University. The Fighting West Sullivan Spartans Drum and Bugle Corps. Fresh off their half and half open class, world class tour. They won open class, now officially world class. Gonna be fun. The Temple University Diamond Band, the University of North Alabama Marching Pride, of course, the Macy's Great American Marching Band, and the New York City Police Department Marching Band. I will probably catch a few of these bands. Do you have a preferred channel? We're not gonna, pay you any money, or maybe, I don't know. NBC shows it. Home and Garden TV used to show it. I don't know.
Whatever's on.
Whatever's on.
In the living room while we're
Yeah,
eating
and we see it on a delay because they delay it the start for each time zone. I think.
Do they?
I thought so. Certain stations delay it.
Okay, I know. I mean, they do that for the New Year's.
Maybe that's. Yeah, I don't know. Some stations you watch it in real time. Other stations they delay it because I remember watching and they're like, and people on Facebook, congratulations, so and so high school. It's like that's like not even for another hour. Well, because they're on the East Coast and they saw it live. So, kudos to y'all. Congratulations to all those bands. Good luck. Don't get sick. Hope y'all have fun. Go Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Have some turkey. Well, as we've been alluding to the last few weeks, since there's no band to talk about, I thought it'd be a good chance for us to catch up not only on user or viewer emails or comments or whatever, but just some things that maybe we wanted to talk about that would take a little bit longer than an already 2-hour-long episode. And so Willie last week had alluded to some judging stuff that he wanted to talk about. I have some judging stuff I want to talk about. So there's the truth. Now, this isn't this is how you're supposed to judge, or this is what judges. This is more still opinion based on the events that transpired. Now, I'll just jump off first because I want to, but let me state that my ideas for changes have nothing to do with Avon Band winning and me thinking the judges' changes would change that in any way, shape, or form. Let me just make sure that's very clear. All right. I feel very positive that our coverage last week was not in any way overly negative towards any particular band. Obviously, we're Texas kids, so we're a little homerism to Texas. We were a little upset. We had people agree with Willie and Aaron's putting Avon number 2 in the national rankings. That was quite funny. It was a good moment.
That's surprising. I thought there would be a lot of people upset.
Yeah, we had a lot of comments, and I have heard. I have not direct. Well, I have seen it. And I've deleted a few comments. I've heard that there has been some very overly negative attacks on the Avon Band, the kids, the program. Just hyperbole, lies, misinformation. And yes, I would have preferred Flower Mound to win, but I'm not going to go on a diatribe and say that the Avon Band rehearses 45 hours a week and all of their parents make $250,000. If you do the math,
the Flower Mound.
I was going to say, a lot of our programs here are pretty well off.
I mean, you look at like the bands who made up like the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
You had Avon.
Yep.
Flower Mound.
Yep.
Carmel.
Yep.
Broken Arrow.
Yep.
The Woodlands.
Yep.
Like that's your top 5. You have Reagan.
And then Reagan, 6.
Yeah, Reagan, and then Marcus in 7th.
7th. Yeah.
Blue Springs 8th. Like, I mean, everyone's rich.
So it's different levels of rich.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and we kind of talked about this off camera, and this wasn't meant to go on a whole, defending or not, but there are a lot of there's some disparity between the haves and have-nots. Mm-hmm. And there are a number of finalists in Grand Nationals that are definitely haves. And there's some that are not as havey, I guess. And there's some groups that typically have made finals that didn't, that are less than halves. We used to call them Title I schools. I don't know if they call them that anymore. Maybe they do. School, and here in Texas, Title I refers to the amount of kids, the percentage that are on free lunch or reduced lunch, and that's how they determine a Title I school. Cedar Ridge, Title I at some point, at any point? Do you know?
I remember whenever I was there that a lot of kids were on lunch plans.
I don't think Cedar Ridge was quite Title I.
LD Bell at one point was, I thought, or pretty close. I mean, when they went to nationals like years in a row, they rode buses. Granted, you also can't afford to spend $2,000 every year to go to Grand Nationals, which is a whole other discussion about money in Grand Nationals. But it's a very tired excuse. Oh, that show wins because they have money. That show wins because they have props. No. A lot of bands have money, and a lot of bands have props, and a lot of bands don't have money, and a lot of bands don't have props. Reagan barely has props every year, but they do have money. Right, but not as much money as some other groups, and there's always a bigger fish. But anyway, my comments about judging, I can't take full credit for them because it's a shared idea in some of the nerd slack. But Bands of America, I believe, is the only one of the big three that does not double panel in their final round. WGI Percussion goes from 4 to 8. I don't know how many guard judges there are, but they double them, right, in color guard. In DCI, is it a completely doubled panel?
It's just music analysis and general effect.
Music analysis and general effect. So it's 4 general effect and 2 music analysis as opposed to 2 and 2. So I feel that Bands of America owes it to the bands that compete for anything, if anything, the ability for one visual general effect judge to not call a contest. And I'm not suggesting that's what happened this year, but it has one visual general effect judge can heavily influence a contest because their score is not averaged out. And if you can double some of these judges, I believe that would benefit Grand Nationals in general. Now, you can't judge. I don't believe you should double any of the field judges. We don't need 4 people running around the field. So you're one individual visual, you're one individual music. In my perfect world, they do double the general effects and they double both ensemble. Now, if that's too many, if they don't have enough room up there, which they do, but if they decide that, then just double general effect. Have 4 general effect judges, 1 music ensemble, 1 visual ensemble. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I checked. They use 3 different panels for prelims, semis, and finals. So they don't share judges.
There's 4 because there's 2 prelims panels.
There's 4 panels.
But
so
no
you
shared judges.
you have a brand new core panel for UIL for Grand National Finals. Take 1 GE judge, 1 GE judge, 1 GE judge, or whatever. Take from, because they're there. They're not going to be there. They're there Thursday and Friday. You get to enjoy all day Saturday if you're a prelims judge, or finals if you're a semis judge. They're going to be there already.
Every panel was different, right? There was not a repeat judge
Correct.
there. So
I double checked.
Nobody was able to get a second read on any of the shows.
Absolutely.
So they were on a first read basis.
Yes. Which also goes to my rant last week about why I think Flower Mound show music GE was a little harder to digest, because you don't get the benefit of multiple views unless you saw them already at a super regional or regional or whatever, regardless. So my suggestion, and financially, I think that the hotels are already paid for. They fly in earlier or later or whatever. I don't know how many judges don't stay for finals. There probably are some.
And don't tell me you don't, because I see all of you at the convention center. So
yeah, I think that for the biggest marching band show in the country by numbers, because there's so many, we can debate the biggest finals show in the country later. But heck, do it for super regionals too. Double general effect in super regional finals. You have all these judges at your disposal. Pros, cons, differences about this. Lay it on me. Pump holes in this.
No cons. I agree.
All right. That's
the only con that I could think of was like, oh, you have to pay more people for more time.
It's true.
I mean,
but if you have 108 bands paying what, $12.50 to go to Grand Nationals, and then all the shirts and
they'll be fine.
They could make it.
Yeah,
they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Might have to adjust a couple numbers here and there, but it doesn't seem.
And it's not like you're doubling it. It's not like you're going like, oh, well, we pay a judge $800 for one round. That means you have to pay $1,600. You can go like, we'll pay you $1,200. And I think most judges would be like, yeah, that's fine. because you're already paying for my flight and my hotel and all this stuff. And I get that. Some judges may be like, oh, I'd like a little more. But that's what I think. Grand Nationals, double the panels. That's what I say. Willie, you've been waiting. I've been waiting. We've all been waiting.
Okay, this is gonna be a big thing to digest. I have two things.
Okay.
Both are relatively effect based, but also some not. It'll be easy to explain.
All right.
It mainly has to do with effect. My thing is excellence as effect is just an excuse for lazy judging in finals. Prelims, you can get away with it, but finals, excellence effect is just an excuse for bad judging. I have a sheet that I made.
Of course you do.
And I don't really have any of these problems when it comes to Grand Nationals. I think the way they judge it is fine. Some of the judging I have problems with, but the way they judge it is fine.
We're supposed to judge it, right? Based on the sheets and whatnot. Yeah.
But it's mainly for the Texas regionals.
A state
I grabbed
more known for excellence as an effect of any other state in these United States. So we are accepting our place in this.
Oh yeah.
Continue.
So I grabbed 4 complete random. One of them's not random. I grabbed San Antonio because it's San Antonio. I grabbed 3 other random Texas regionals. I just chose them at random, and I'm going to list off the GE prelims placement compared to their overall placement in prelims, and then their GE placement in finals compared to their overall placement in finals. So I will go with, let's go San Antonio first. Flower Mound second in GE prelims, but panels. So, and then first overall, Hebron first, second overall, Vandergrift third overall, Woodlands fourth overall, Pearland seventh overall, Reagan fourth in effect because they tied, and then sixth overall, Cedar Park 14th in effect, 11th overall, Rouse fourth in prelims effect, fifth overall, Vista 11th and 10th overall, Cedar Ridge 13th in effect, 9th overall, Keller 8th, Dripping Springs 10th, 12th, Monji 9th, 13th, Bridgeland 12th, 14th. And then in finals, it's basically just the placements. It's basically just the placements. There's 1 or 2 like little swaps here, but everything else is just completely finals place. Like their GE placement is 100% identical to their finals placement. And then we'll go to North Houston. Prelims, Cy-Fair was 3rd overall, 6th in effect. Bridgeland was 2nd in placement and effect. College Park was 4th in placement and effect. Cy Woods was 5th and 5th. Clearbrook 7th and 8th. North Shore was 3rd in effect and 9th overall in prelims. Cinco Ranch is 8th in effect and 7th overall. Dickinson was 14th and then 15th overall. Friendswood 13th and 11th overall. Churchill Full Shear was 15th and 13th overall. James E. Taylor 10-10. Oak Ridge 12-12. And then in finals, the only thing that's even relatively different is Cinco Ranch getting 5th in GE and 7th overall. Everything else is pretty much identical.
All right.
Waco, prelims, Cedar Ridge 1st in effect, 2nd overall. LV Bell 4th in effect, 1st overall. Bowie 3rd, 4th overall. Westlake 2nd, 3rd overall. Plano East 5th overall in everything. Westwood 6th in GE, 8th in overall. Jet 8th in GE, 6th overall. Aledo 7th in GE, 11th overall. Timber Creek 9th, Midlothian 10th, 12th, 11th, 10th for Hutto, and then SFA was 14th in effect and 7th overall. It's getting a little long, but basically the prelims effect scores are always a little bit different. They're relatively, you'll see big gaps between their placement and effect a lot of the time.
Yeah.
In finals, you almost never get that. And that's because I think that judges in prelims are the only times where effect judges actually try to do their jobs. Because
I thought you were going to come to a different
Because in prelims, you're judging a blank slate.
Right.
You got nothing, almost nothing to go off of. You are judging based on, okay, how effective is this show? How good is this? And you can go like, oh, this show is, yeah, it's good, but it's not the best in effect wise. 11th in effect, even though their performance is really good.
Yeah.
And then in finals, since a lot of those effect judges are just taken from the music panel or the visual panel from prelims, they already have a predetermined how good this band is to them.
That's exactly what I was going to tell you.
So their finals effect tape just is a glorified performance tape. And then their GE score is their performance. And there's almost nothing effect-wise about it.
That is an interesting conclusion, I suppose, on there. Because as someone who has judged effect in prelims and finals, or individual or ensemble, because we have to switch back and forth, I will say that it is easier to default to an excellence as an effect in prelims for the groups that probably aren't going to make finals. Because most of those groups don't have the show, especially in an early season. You're basically judging how good they play in March because it's so early in the season, or the show maybe isn't as well thought out. But then you get a Vandergrift, a Woodlands pops out, and then you're like, oh, I can talk about effect. And so I can see that. And then in finals, and it's different for every judge, but I can definitely see why if you were on the field or doing ensemble in prelims, you go to effect and you go, oh, this band played really, really well in prelims. And so you remember that. And so you can double down on that. Though to me, it was always a struggle because in prelims, if I was on execution, I was always trying to talk about execution. And I would say, I really wish I could mention this. It's not on my tape, but I really like this, And then in finals, I could talk about it. So I don't necessarily disagree. I don't agree 1,000,000% because every judge is very different and every contest is very different. But I agree with your opening statement of I think excellence as an effect is weighed too heavily for a great number of music effect judges, especially in Texas / if you have a Texas music general effect judge.
And there will be some times where me and friends are watching these shows live, and we'll go, man, they're really good, but this show has no music effect. And then in prelims, we're right.
Yes.
It doesn't. Their music effect score's not as high, but their music performance score is really high. And we're like, yes, we knew. We predicted that. It was like it's fine. And then in finals, their effect score just goes right up to their music score.
Right. Yeah.
Or like their music effect score goes identical with their music score. And I have out of there are 50 bands on this sheet.
Oh my gosh.
That the number of finals placements that equaled their GE score, their GE placement, 30 out of the 50 were completely equal on effect score to.
That feels statistically.
And the only ones that weren't were about one place off.
But that feels expected because GE is weighted heavier.
But then you go to prelims,
but I think it's just because prelims judging it's so much more difficult, and the goal isn't necessarily I'm going to give the most accurate number. I think if you ask most judges, the goal of prelims is to get the right bands in finals.
Correct.
So I think that can also lead to a bit more discrepancy between GE.
But then the right bands in the finals leads into my second one, and that's about the top half, bottom half split.
Oh.
And it's to get the right bands into finals, but the right bands into top half and bottom half.
Are you anti-top, bottom half?
Kind of, but it's also like there is no correct system.
I think I have a correct system.
Let's hear you, Willie.
So I think judges
I might agree with yours.
For top half and bottom half, judges are scared because they see the prelims placements of, this band made top half, they must be really, really, really good, or this band made bottom half. It's like, they're probably not top half material. And let's say a band in top half, they got like 12th in performance and or in music and visual, but then they got third in effect in prelims. And that carried them into top half. As a top half judge, or when you're judging the top half, you're scared. And you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to be wrong. So let me put them top half in music because I don't really want to be wrong. Even though they were 12th in prelims. And they didn't, I don't want to say deserve it to get that placement. Same thing with bottom half. They get 4th in music and 4th in visual, but then 12th in effect, and that puts them in a bottom half. Mm-hmm. You see them in bottom half and you go, I don't want to be wrong. So you keep them bottom half in their performance when they should be top half.
Right. And I forgot who said this in the nerd Slack, but I think the fact that it is such a big deal when a band jumps from bottom half to top half, that kind of just displays the issue with the system. Not saying that it's I mean, like I said, I think I have a better system. However, I understand why the system is in place, and I agree with the reason why it's there.
And to be fair, I don't know how long it's been this way, but as long as I was teaching, which was 2000, it was a bottom half, top half finals at regionals. It wasn't that way at Grand Nationals for some time. So this is something you knew was going to happen. Oh, top half, bottom half. That's how it was. Now the draw in top half, bottom half was completely random. I mean, it was always random because we had to draw numbers. Have they always done top half, bottom half at regionals? I think somebody might be correcting me. I think it might have been completely random.
I think it was completely random.
You know what? You're right.
I think it was just 2015 is when they, after 2015.
You are correct. You are correct. I'm sorry. Everything was completely random because that's right. Boy, it tells you how long it's been since.
Hence why you see way more placement changes before 2015 than you do now.
Which I kind of like. And I've said this almost every week, and maybe I say it in the Nerd Slack more often, but part of the problem of the issue with the inability rather for bands to jump from bottom half to top half or to fall from top half to bottom half is that in a 12 band finals, you lock your scores as a judge after the 6th band. So after the 6th band performs, lock your scores, which means you lock them up and you can't adjust them. You can't move them anymore. And then they do it after the 9th band. So you lock after 6, you lock after 9, you lock after 12. So basically, you've locked up your first 6. They can't move up. They get to the next band, and then that 7th playing band could be the top band. Then it's all over. So psychologically, which I think maybe that's what you're referring to, is I can't put them below them, and plus my scores are locked. So I think allowing the judges to keep their scores open for longer would definitely help with that potentially, but I also see the issue with a top-bottom split.
And in all of those 50 that are on the sheet, I don't know why I did air quotes, 35 placements were changed. 35 placements were different. 3 of them were a top half to bottom half or bottom half to top half split. And one of them was because one of the band didn't even go to finals. So
they got to move up.
And all of and if you look at the bottom half, there are bands that jump 3 places or jump 2 places. Whenever it's bottom half to top half, almost always it's only 7th to 6th. Almost always.
Now that is definitely some interesting data because now we have 10 years of data basically. But this is only from this year. You're only doing this year's data.
Yeah, I'm only doing this year.
I would be curious if what is happening is the effect that the board, because the advisory council board is the one who comes up with these changes, if this is what they wanted. Because I do get you want to have the right band to win. And if the band that's going to win has to play first, it's going to be that much harder. So should they get that disadvantage? But then also should they not get, I can see why they did it, but I can also see why completely random would be good. But then DCI doesn't randomize it. WGI does to a certain extent. Right? I think so.
And you could have like a not so good run in prelims when you as a band, you deserve top half, but then you have a really bad run and then you get 7th at the end of prelims and that puts you to bottom half. And then your finals run might be insane. It might be 5th place worthy or 4th place worthy. Right. But then you get 11th because a judge is like,
correct, you're toast.
Oh, they're bottom half.
I mean, it definitely decreases the ability of any given Saturday, any band can win. Now it's any band in the top 6 can win. That's kind of what you are setting yourself up for. So I'd be curious, Aaron, what is your awesome, fantastic adjustment?
I've heard this before, and I like it.
If it is what you're going to say, I think I agree with it.
So what my system would be is you would take the top 12 scores from prelims, average them together.
Oh, that's right.
And then that's where you do the split. So if it's like a really top heavy contest, say, I think that would mean like it would only be like maybe 4 or 5 bands in the top half. And then that's your first group. And then if it's like a really top heavy contest, like a BOA San Antonio.
Yeah.
Or actually, BOA San Antonio would probably be more balanced just because of how deep it is.
Right.
But like maybe like a BOA Bedford where you have the Louisville schools and then everyone else. You'd probably have a stronger like 6 or 6, 7, 8 or so for your top half, and then the bottom half. Or another idea is maybe do more groups. I don't think you can do more groups and just have it be a set number. I think it has to be just kind of like this like average system. So like if you have Carmel at BOA Ohio and second place is like Lakota East or something, like you might even have a situation where Carmel is so far ahead that they are in the first group alone, and then there's a second group that's like 5 bands, and then you have
and this is not to belittle in your hypothetical example anyone else not named Carmel or Avon, or when Claudia Taylor went to go to McAllen, or they went to Midland, or did they ever go to Las Cruces? No. But you have a very clear winner that everybody's like, okay, they're going to win. Yeah, they should play last. and then we'll mess. I totally get that, and I totally support that, but that's going to be a rarity, probably.
Yeah.
And if you ever do a top half or like a split of any sort, you're still going to have that prelims class champions and the winners. So they already know who got 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So then they're going to be like, oh, I know that they got 3rd and 4A.
Sure.
So I'm going to give them a higher score, even though they went way earlier.
I mean, the reality is, and we all know it. There's every idea, every change. There's going to be a problem with it. Somebody can find an issue with it. All that stuff. There's no in a sport, that has no defense. It's an all offense sport. They go out and do their show, short of somebody sabotaging someone's wire or drum major or whatever. Like, it's all offense. So there's no way to defend. So there's no right way to do this. There's no bracket that works. There's no, top, 3 neighborhoods of 3 kind of thing. That could be fine. But then you still get in that issue of like, oh, so these are the 3 bands that could win. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why the other reason why I think doing it based on the scores and finding that middle spot from a data standpoint is that it then blurs the line of who's top half, who's bottom half. If you just do 2 groups, maybe you have a show where Carmel goes on like 5th or something if they drew really early. But I mean, Carmel's still probably going to win 90% of contests they go to.
And you can also, like, the argument of like, if you completely randomize finals and you go, oh, well, this person went 3rd overall and they won prelims and they go 3rd overall. I mean, I've seen contests where someone goes 2nd overall in prelims and wins, or 1st overall in prelims and wins prelims. So it's kind of like this is the closing argument. Judges need to call it how they see it all the time. Judge everything like you're judging prelims.
Which is, I mean, that's the goal, I think.
But is it the outcome?
There's just there's only so much you can do as a biased individual.
These are all dreams.
Well, in this is not where I was going to say we should go on this, and we don't have to. We can wait to this. There is also the issue of too spread of judging panels. I don't know how else to say it without getting a little bit more negative, but with 5 shows a weekend, with shows where designers certain designers can't judge certain contests because of conflict of interest. Band directors can't go judge because they're taking their bands to contests. You're utilizing judges that are too green, maybe should not be judging anymore. You have a wide gamut. And the reality is you can look at every weekend and you can pick out who the A panel is. You can tell where BOA sent their best judges. And which means you can look down and see where BOA said, this is where we're training all our new judges. You get Richard Saucedo and then who? Right? Like you get that kind of thing, which we need to make more judges. We need them to train. We need them to learn. All of that is true. But when you're relying on a system, you're hoping that the judges know how to utilize that system. And that is more often than not what's happening.
Yep.
But we don't want to go into a whole like which judges are crap. Who are these?
It's not unlike
These
any
judges are crap.
I see this guy on recaps all the time, like D. Montoya.
Oh, that would be
that
incorrect
guy?
because I haven't judged BOA in 2 years.
Yeah, it's not like this
pulled myself.
band is. But I'm just like seeing like, man, I just see a lot of similar numbers here, and
Well,
I don't think it should be that similar. There
There's
should
also
be some
groupthink.
discrepancy.
There's groupthink, and it's like I mentioned a number of weeks ago or whatever. The chief judge does send everyone scores, the first few bands to get everyone in the right mindset. There are positives to that, and there are negatives to that. Like every first show that I judged at BOA, the chief judge would text me privately or come up to me privately and go, "You're about 10 points lower than everybody else," and I would go, I will turn my Texas ears off because that's the reality, and it's very snotty, and I freely acknowledge that. That's kind of the chief judge's job is to corral everyone. I think the problem is people get too much in line. So I get that. So,
Because they're scared of being wrong. They don't want to be that one person on the sheet that gives someone
the other issue
lower or
is,
higher than they should be.
Jay Webb, director of bands at Avon at the time, is judging the BOA San Antonio Super Regional, knowing full well in 2 weeks he's competing against the same bands he just saw. Right? Now, I am in no way, shape, or form even alluding to impropriety or whatever, saying that. But what I'm saying is, when you are judging bands that those bands may potentially judge you later on, or drum corps, or WGIs, or any of that, the box gets smaller and smaller where you might want to make a call. Because you're like, oh, but they're judging my band in 2 weeks, or I'm going to have to see him in critique next summer. It happens. The reality
of interest.
Is that happens.
There's always conflict of interest.
There are no.
Even when there's not,
non-conflict
there's
of
always
interest.
conflict
Correct,
of interest.
correct.
Even when there's not.
Aaron, I'm excited to hear what you have.
Yes. So the non-Texans are going to have to forgive me for this. However, it is my opinion that in high school specifically, music should be the most heavily weighted caption. I think I would... the weighting I would like to see is maybe like 40% music, 30% visual, 30% general effect. So nothing like, oh, music is the only thing that matters. Like the majority of your score still is not music or not specifically music. Music performance, I should say. But I think if, just look at the organization name, Music for All.
Sure.
It's not marching band for all or general effect for all. If the organization is serious about music education, and that is their stated goal.
It's your mission statement. Yep.
And I went to the 50th anniversary dinner, and they did a presentation talking about what they're going to be doing in the future. And I like a lot of what they're doing. They're going to be focusing a lot more on reaching out to communities that do not have the resources to make a trip up to Indianapolis once a year for BOA Grand Nationals. And I think that's fantastic. Excellent. That being said, it's still music for all, and music takes a relatively small seat at the table when it comes to judging from a performance perspective. And I believe that the purpose of music education, outside of just like the general goal of fine arts education, like working together with people on a team or even sports, I think it's just to foster musicianship and encourage careers in music for those who want to pursue it. And if they don't want to pursue it, have it still be something that they can look back on positively, if not keep it as a hobby. So because of that, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I think it makes more sense for music to be the most important caption.
Would you would just change the percentage value of every caption? You wouldn't change the panel breakdown or anything? I
would say you'd probably only need one music general effect judge in that case. But yeah, 2 music, 2 visual, 2 general effect. But then that gives you even more space to double panel if you want. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. Obviously, even Texas people would wager, well, yeah, but it already is a music heavy. Music 60% of the score because you're taking into account music general effect. Which, if you judge that caption correctly, I don't want to go against what I've said because most judges are not. In essence, most judges are judging it as a music ensemble. So they might already be judging it more music heavy, but when the caption is judged correctly, it should be purely effect based or way more effect based. In fact, as somebody and I talked on the telephone, they were remaining nameless. We were talking about the results from Grand Nationals, and they pointed out that music general effect or visual general effect allows you to talk about the other side. So maybe that's what happened at Grand Nationals, where the 2 finalist music general effect judges also got in their bag about visual general effect, which then they felt that Avon might have been stronger in the overall, in the visual, kind of thing. So I think that on the way the sheets are broken down, if they were judged the right way, which I don't think they are consistently.
Music is already weighted more.
And that's what I'm saying. If they judge it correctly, it's not weighted more. It's effect based. Like it's effect, it's but music, and it's visual.
Excellence is effect.
Correct. And that's where I think they're hiding behind this. Well, yeah, but it's still music. It's music effect. Excellence isn't he's like, no. If you're judging the sheet correctly, it is not. If you're admitting that people are judging it like music ensemble, a music ensemble 2 and 3 judge, then then the sheets are wrong. Then you need to change the sheets.
Yes.
So anyway,
also like the BOA, the sheets. I mean, I'm sure the language has changed a little bit over time to keep up with design trends and new like electronics and everything that's been introduced into the activity. However, it's exactly the same. You can look at a recap from like 1980, maybe even before. They're just harder to find online, and the sheets look exactly the same. You could understand it just as well today, and it's been 50 years.
Right? Sure.
I feel like, and you look at DCI, they've had all these systems. They had the tick system at first. They had like just looking at the early 70s recaps is a headache because like there's all these like random sub captions. Some of them are only worth like 5 points. Some of them worth like 25. It's insane. And they trialed and errored, and they got to a system which I think generally works really well.
Which we will talk about in a future episode is how people judge, how they're supposed to.
But with BOA, the fact that there hasn't been any true experimentation to my knowledge, I think that is a conversation worth having.
I don't disagree, especially because we come from a state that for so long was so old-fashioned in their judging system with UIL, and they had 3 music, 2 visual judges. And when we say 3 music, 2 visual judges, it was literally, I judge music. It wasn't, I'm an individual music judge, an ensemble, like you judged music, you judged visual, and that's how you won state. And then they went into these captions of music ensemble, woodwind, brass, percussion, visual ensemble,
visual individual,
and content and design, which is a huge change from what it used to be. And so if a system like UIL can make it, now it did take some changes at the top of UIL in the top 2 positions. That happens. I think, but that comes from, in case you don't know how this works in the Music for All BOA world, it isn't the president of BOA makes these changes. It's the advisory council that is made up by current, former band directors, retired, people in the industry of sorts. That I think it changes every few years. I'm not really sure, but it has to be brought up through that system. Now, how it gets to them, I'm unaware. I don't know. The biggest thing that they ever changed was for 1 year in 2003 when they voted, and this was all the band directors in that council, decided they were not going to announce anyone else but the winner at Grand Nationals 2003. And if you don't know about this, then you didn't have to experience the most anticlimactic Grand National finals of all time. I was there live, and that was the year that Texas swept all the captions in semifinals, and they swept the top three, I believe, because it was Westfield, Reagan, Bell, and then in finals it was Westfield, Reagan, Bell again, I think. Or no, somebody else got third. I think Bell was fourth. Doesn't matter. But then they get everyone up for a retreat, and they start the rigmarole, and they talk about every band, and they do the same thing that you're all used to, and then they had a singer. I don't remember who or what it was, but it was if the internet existed the way it does today, that person may never want to show their face again, because on the BOA forums, it was horrible. And then they said drum majors front and center, and then they said, I don't know if they did Spirit of Disney or whatever back then, or they didn't do Tournament of Roses. They go, music, visual, general effect, and your winner's Westfield. And it was like, that was it. And then they did not release the recaps until Midwest, which was a whole month, maybe a month and a half later.
You never knew.
That's what they decided to do. I don't know why. In 2002, who won 2002? Was that a Lawrence Central year?
2002, was that Marion?
Marion.
Marion.
Because Plymouth won in...
Lawrence Central got second, I think.
Really?
02.
01 was Lawrence Central.
Lawrence Central was 01. 2000 was... No, 2000 was Lawrence Central.
It might have been both. I know 2001. Lawrence Central, that was when they won with no captions.
Oh, okay. So who was 2000? Was that Mary Catholic?
Might have been.
Because that was the year I thought Carmel was... Wait, when did Carmel do the dance? Was that 01?
I don't know.
It's fine. I know. But after 2002, for whatever reason, they decided to do that. And then after that, they never did it again. From 2004 on, it was, all right, we hated this idea. So that to me might be the most radical change in Grand National Finals judging whatever of the last 20 plus years. That's interesting. I didn't think about it in those terms until you pointed it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great Grand Nationals. It was a horrible retreat in results kind of thing. Some good stuff. Anything else for the good of the order?
No.
Aaron has something.
No, I said I'm good.
Oh, okay. We may or may not have something next week. Depends on our schedule. It may not be a normal publishing time. We might just go like, you want to talk this week or whatever? I'll put together some topics, send them out. We have lots of emails and topics that y'all sent us through electronic email, but also comments. We see the comments, the good, the bad, the questionable. And if there are anything else you would like us to address, send them here. And it's a topic that we can talk about. Some of us may have a little more knowledge about it than others and whatever. We'll do our best. Don't email us about Grand Nationals should change locations. We've already got enough of those. We're going to talk about it. We've gotten people saying, what is judging? How do people judge? We'll talk about that. He kind of talked about it with the tick system. We'll talk about all of that. What is marching band? Kind of a primer for parents, people who don't know. And any other topics that you may want to know, send them our way. Good topics, funny topics even. We'll address it. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. To you and yours? I don't know. I got none.
I'm going to get ready for WGI season.
WGI season, yes. We are not gonna. I said this last year, and then I never posted again until DCI. We're gonna do it. We're gonna watch stuff. I am going to be color guard heavy because I'm judging percussion in the spring. But these people over here may talk about drums and guard, or both. I'm not sure. But we're gonna have fun.
Wins.
Or wins with a Y and a Z. You figure out where those go. So, all right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see y'all in the next episode of the program.